Okay, let's dive straight in. I'm going to show you how to make some tools with Claude Code. Now, one thing that I do quite regularly is to process photographs and images so that they can be used on the web. And, you know, I'm going to show you how you may not need something like Photoshop, one of these big Adobe suites where you have to download gigabytes of software, have a monthly subscription, and so on. You may just need a tool that does one thing, one or two things, so you don't need that whole suite. So I have written a specification file that you can see here. So essentially what I want it to do, or the tool that we're going to build, I would like it to squash the images down to a particular size, and we're going to set some width constraints that are suitable for websites, and then I'd also like it to remove what are called IPTC tags, which photographers tend to use to store data about the camera settings and so on, maybe some copyright settings and so on, location, GPS data, that kind of thing. And we don't really need it, and we're going to get it to strip that out, which has the advantage of reducing the file size and also improving your privacy. So I'm using WebStorm, the terminal in WebStorm. It doesn't matter what you're using, and I've got another video that shows you how to set up Claude Code in various different programs. So now I'm gonna invoke Claude. Just type Claude. Oops. Because it's a new project, it's actually going to ask for permission. And do you trust this? Do you trust the files in this folder? So I do, so I'm going to say yes, and I'm just going to do Shift Tab, because that, you can see at the bottom there, it's going through accept edits, plan mode on, and that's what we want. We want it to plan and show us a plan for how it wants to do that. So I'm now just going to say there is a file in the root of the project folder called spec.md, and MD is Markdown, and that it's basically a very simple sort of plain text format that is very commonly used by various generative AI to move information about, really, between humans and machines. Please read the file and devise a plan to make this image processing tool for me. Right, so it now goes away and has a think about that. Okay, so then I'm going to read the file to understand the requirements. So essentially, the work was put in advance at the beginning. Okay, it's looking to see if there's a current structure, and then it's telling me it's going to ask some questions. And I think we're probably going to be done in the next 5 minutes. Okay, so it's giving me visual feedback here saying that it understands. It needs to ask me some questions before it gives the final plan. Okay, so we're now down at the bottom here. It's asking what I want to do and kind of giving me some advice, but not really. If you were to do this in Claude, the regular chat app, it would probably go into a lot more detail. So web browser tool, which is probably what we're going to go for, but it says runs locally in the browser, no installation needed, works offline using client-side JavaScript, simple to use, but limited to browser capabilities. Okay. I mean, I know that the browser capabilities are that it can process images using Canvas. I think for non-technical people it'd probably be better to give some more explanation there, but it's quite sparse. Then it's saying in the native application to use Electron or native, more powerful, better file system access, can integrate with the OS, requires installations but offers better performance and features. Okay, well look, that wasn't great guidance for someone that's not technical, but I'm going to go with web browser tool because I know that works. Okay, it's suggesting a few widths for me: 800, 1200, 1920. Yep. Custom width configurable, allow to define any custom widths that you need. Preset plus custom combo. That's what I want essentially. So option 3 is saying, do you want to have these presets, and would you like to also be able to specify? So I'm actually going to type something else because oops. Okay, so what I'm saying is, I just want you to add another one to the presets, but the preset and custom combo is fine. So now hit return. Oops. Okay, next. So formats, I wanted to deal with all of those formats. Okay, and next. Same folder as originals. Place processed images in the same directory as the source with modified file names. Create dedicated processed folder. Use the selectable each time. No, I think having a processed folder is good. Although I'm not sure the browser can create. Let's see. Anyway, I'm not sure the browser can create a folder. So it's now satisfied that it's got answers to the questions it put to me. So let's submit that, and it's going to go away and write that plan, and then we'll review it and hit go. Okay, so here's our plan, ready to code. Yep. Runs entirely in the browser, no server needed. Canvas API, file API for drag and drop, that's good. Libraries, PyXFJS, metadata removal, JS zip, so it's going to zip up batch files to download them on one go. Okay, file input area with selector, yep. Download section, yep. Core features, yes. In essence, it's just sort of telling us back, what we told it. So that's fine now. Progress indicator. That's good because if you're doing a lot of files, that can take a while, and you need to see if it's stuck or not. File reduction statistics. That's good because you want to know if it was worth it. Test with various image formats. Ensure metadata. Helpful tooltips instructions. Okay, so I'm just going to say go and let it do its thing. This here is just a little bit of whimsy that Claude adds, so it always uses a different verb as it sort of goes into a new task. It's giving you feedback about what task it's on. You can do Control-T to see the commands. You can see where it is. Control T, go back. Oh, it's running some code. Just I looked at just created a basic HTML outline page. Now it's styling it. Now I haven't actually given it any instructions on colors, branding, anything like that. So let's see what it comes up with. I think I should probably have given it a little bit of guidance on colors. Just, yeah, because who knows what it's going to do. Okay, I can't just like read text and tell you what those colors are, but while it's doing that, let's just have a little preview, see what we think. Okay, it's going for blue, that's fine. What's good here is you can see it's sort of hover states, so you know how the colors change if you move over a button. Success color, so that's, you know, usually a kind of a green, you know, to say you know, something has gone as expected. Danger, you know, like would that be a red button? Do you want to? Are you sure you want to delete all these images and so on? So it's following, you know, good conventions, good design conventions, not just thinking about what's called the happy path, where, you know, you do something and it works. Beginner sort of designers tend to think like that, just follow the happy path, but you have to also think about all the edge cases and the error states and that kind of thing. And luckily Claude does all of that for us. Okay, so I can see here it's creating an array of accepted file types, and that's, although it's running locally on my own machine, you know, this isn't going to be out on the web and available to other people. It's still good practice, you know, so that partly for security and partly also so that you don't just like, I don't know, like throw a Word document at it and expect that it's going to turn it into an image. Okay, so it's saying it's going to do the README, which is the documentation for the project, and I would say that's probably quite near the end. So yeah, we can see that it's gone through and ticked all of these tasks. We're now on the last one, so we'll be able to test in a minute. Blah blah blah. So in effect, the app is now done, if it works, but you know, and it's now just cleaning up and writing documentation for us humans. Over here in the left hand side we have the actual project files, so I can see that the HTML file is there, the image processing code is there, app.js, yeah, our instructions. Okay, so it's telling me that it's ready. Do what it says. So if I click there, I'm going to say open in Finder. I'm on a Mac, so Finder is basically file explorer. And where is it? Index.html. Okay, let's click on it and see what happens. Not so bad. Let's get rid of my bookmarks. Yeah, so okay, so the color and the styling was just for the buttons. That's good. So I have my drop zone where I can get some images. I have my sizes. Now at the moment it's only letting me pick one size, so if you wanted you could go back and do another iteration and say that's great, it all works, let's but can you do it so that I can, you know, process to different sizes at the same time. And I have my custom field here. I'm just going to go with 1920. No, let's go down a bit. Let's go to 1200. So you can drag, or you can just, you know, pull some images over. Let's see. So here are some. Here's just a batch of images. So at the moment, these are 2.6 megabyte. We've got 9 documents, 9 JPEGs, and some PNGs, and they are 2.6 megabytes. So let's see if we can crunch them down a bit. So it's actually giving me a preview of each image, so I can get rid of them if I want. So I could say, actually no, that one's fine. So I'm just going to go with the 8, and that's a nice feature. It's now processed them all, and it's telling me that this one is, yeah, they're all about between 60 and nearly 80% smaller. I would have liked to have seen a total, but that's fine. Look, I mean, I can see that it's doing a really good job. And download them. It's given me a zip file, which I'm just gonna open up. Okay, so I've opened that, and let's just take that out of full screen. Let's do it as a gallery so we can actually see the images. Yeah, so I think in total, so these all look fine. In total, we're looking at about, yeah, 762 kilobytes. So it's taken it from, I think it was 2.6. We removed a very small one, but it's taken it down very substantially. Okay. So that is for a first go in 10 minutes or whatever. That was a pretty decent little tool. I won't call it an app. It's more of a tool. But this is the absolute sort of basic minimal thing here. There wasn't any. There's no database. There's no data structure. We're not using a particular language or framework. You know, there was no specification there for that. So once you move into you know, providing data structures and so on, then you can actually start to do some really sophisticated things. So yeah, Scruncher, not so bad.